no more. Hey, Sophie. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey. Where are you going? You going anywhere fun? Saturday? Doing anything cool? Anybody doing anything cool? She's chewing on her llama very contentedly, which is great. We love to see it. Hello, hello. Oh, yucky. We have a little bit of spit up here. That's yucky. My arm hurts, but it's a coffee day. Wait, why does your arm hurt? Good morning. I hope today is a good day for everybody too. Morning, Mary. Mary, did you see I made that post for you? Somebody, I don't want to mention any names, had a really rough night last night, but she seems better this morning, which, you know, is a huge win. Okay. Mommy needs to empty this. The coffee pods are full, and we need a new bag. The great news is the bag will cover your face. Morning, Renee. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. That would be nice, right? Be nice to see you tomorrow. TDAP yesterday. Oh, I remember that. I do. We did that, of course. Okay. Let's see what we can do. Which coffee am I gonna do? I mean, I'm gonna put Nutella in it regardless, so it almost doesn't matter. Almost doesn't matter which one. I did see that. I love your idea. Hope. Oh my gosh! If Hope and Plum linked up with a light, I don't know what I would do. I would lose all my money. All my money would go bye-bye. I doubt that they ever will, if I'm being honest, but you can always find one of those on Facebook Marketplace or like Mercari or whatever like that. My daughter stole my Nespresso maker to take to college. Oh, so you get a new one. Hey, we love to see it. Wait, why are we sad? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why are we sad? Why are we sad? And Mommy just has to finish making coffee, then you can go in the playpen. You're gonna go in the playpen as soon as we finish making coffee. You just gotta give Mommy a second. Give Mommy a second. I got distracted by somebody, I don't want to say who, and forgot to put the Nutella in, but luckily I'm planning to put a shot in anyway, so I have another hot thing coming down the pipe. Alright. To melt the Nutella. This is Nutella. You may not have it yet. Well, it's not really Nutella, it's fake Nutella, but it is what it is. We're gonna get a spoonful of fake Nutella because Mommy deserves to have nice things. And then we're gonna put it in the coffee cup and we're gonna put that on. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. That's what, oh, you reordered pods. Which is your favorite, Gigi? Sasha, open that up all the way. What are you doing? Yes, you're right. What am I doing? That was stupid, right? Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Okay. Ha, ha, ha. We're okay. We're okay. We're a happy girl. We're a happy girl. We are happy girl, girl, girl. Happy, 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 happy. We're gonna be happy today. Yes, we are. We're gonna have a good day. I learned about Nutella and Pomodoro, so I was told to use that. It's not. It is Italian, but this is not Italian. This is fake one, obviously. I still can't believe her hair got so much later. I know. It's weird, right? It's so weird. It's so weird. But you are so right. Yes, Amanda, it is Italian. It is very, very Italian. Oh. I recently went to Disney and went to, oh, that's amazing. You went to Disney? That's so fun. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mommy's licking the spoon right now, but I promise when you're a big girl, I will let you lick the spoon. I promise. You're just not able currently. Because these are not things you're allowed to have yet. But when you are, you know, your time will come. Your time will come. Okay. Let's get right. Okay, Mommy has multiple ideas today on how to make this work. We're gonna try a couple of different things. Good morning, Liz, to see if we can make her happy. We're gonna test a couple things, okay? So first, we're all gonna walk over here and put Mommy's coffee down over here on a coaster. All of us together, coffee. See, that was nice for all of us, right? Coffee, coffee, coffee. Okay, good morning, everyone. And now we're gonna go over here and we're gonna put the phone on the tripod. Yes, oops, I don't know what I hit. I hope it wasn't anything important. Okay, we're gonna put on Mommy's glasses. We're gonna get the Land of Stories book. We're gonna use the Land of Stories book to cover your face so that Mommy can do things. My mother-in-law is making homemade tomato sauce for us. That's amazing. Is your mother-in-law Italian? Mommy is gonna trip over the new playpen, clearly. We're backing up, we're backing up, we're backing up. We're going this way. We're doing this. We're here. Okay, we made it. It was a journey, but we got there. You guys are ready for Tower of Terror? Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tower of Terror, woo! Okay, and now, since you have a renewed love for your bouncer, we're gonna try that first because it helps you sit up and you can watch Mommy read, which I know you want to do. Here, here, ready? And then, here, look, you can have this and you can see the beloved tripod. Yeah, hold on, hold on. You can see tripod. You can see Mommy reading. Yeah, we're gonna try this. Yeah, she's Italian, that's amazing. Canned tomato sauce is blasphemy. I know, I make my own also. I'm gonna pull you closer. Oh, there you are, you're closer. And then I am gonna give you your own book. Book for baby. She does have a stuffy nose, it's true. She's so stuffy, you can hear it, yeah. Here, grab it, that's your book. Okay, Sasha, can Nespresso coffee with beans you already own? No, not unless you have refillable pods, which I don't know that Nespresso makes, but I think some other companies might make some that are compatible, possibly. Don't quote me on that though. Over 100 pods with the first order. I mean, 6 pods with caffeine left. Oh my gosh, yeah, Gigi, I know. Tell me about it. We don't really do decaf pods here. Yeah, there might be some. My Keurig is on its last leg. I'm gonna switch. Yeah. Obviously, you know I recommend it. How much coffee do you have left that you would have to waste or find another way to use? I mean, if it's a lot, maybe you wait. But if it's not, maybe you suck it up. I don't know. I don't know. How do you feel about this perspective? You can see Mommy. Mommy can read to you. You can see tripod. Are we all happy? We used to do this. Remember when you were a baby? When you were a little baby and you used to sit there while Mommy read and you loved it? Maybe we're back to that. There was some sleep last night. It wasn't great. She was not feeling well last night, I will be honest. I think she might have had a small bit of a fever, but it's broke now. And I think she's feeling better as a result. It wasn't like a dangerous fever or anything, but she was a little warm. And she had a really hard time sleeping last night. she had a hard time getting comfortable, you know, but she seems okay right now, you know. And she's been in a good mood this morning. Oh, she's definitely teething, but she's also sick on top of it. She's got a stuffy nose. She was very nose runny yesterday. It's a little less runny today. And she had a little bit of a cough yesterday, but yeah, I agree. Nothing can hold a candle to the espresso. She seems better today. Not 100%, but better. You know what I mean? Like, we're moving in the right direction. So that's good. So let's read chapter 7. Yeah, do you want to read chapter 7? What if mommy reads it to you? Will you feel better? A lot of that actually comes with teething. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've heard about teething fevers and all that. Yeah. Are you ready? We're going to read chapter 7 together. Okay, here we go. Chapter 7, Rapunzel's Tower. The twins had been running for almost an hour straight, and they were starting to feel it. Their adrenaline was slowly running out, and the pains in their side were increasing with every step that they took. But since something dangerous seemed to happen every time they stopped moving, they were motivated to keep going. After all this running, PE test should be a breeze, Connor said through heavy wheezes. We're almost there, Alex said unconvincingly. It's just a little farther. The forest had changed as they ran through it. The trees weren't so thick, and there was more space and grass between them. More sunlight fell through the branches, so nothing was in the dark. The path became wider too, and much more visible. The twins didn't feel as threatened by their surroundings. The forest grew almost friendlier the closer they traveled to the corner kingdom. Connor collapsed to the ground. He was breathing harder than a fish out of water. I can't run anymore. I can't take another step, he said with his limbs spread out as if he were making snow angels in the dirt. We can't stop moving until we get to the corner kingdom, Alex reminded him through her own heavy breathing. I think we're there now, Connor said. How do you know? Asked Alex. That's how, Connor said, and he pointed upward. In the distance, a tall tower was visible above the treetops. It was circular and made of square stones. There was a single window near the top and just below the pointed roof made of hay. It was partially covered in thick vines of ivy. Alex gasped and clutched her hands together. It's Rapunzel's tower, Alex said, and her eyes became a little misty at the sight of it. Are you seriously crying right now? Connor said, who was still on the ground. It's just how I imagined it would look, Alex said. Get up, we have to get a closer look. Alex yanked on her brother's arm until he too climbed to his feet, and the twins walked through the trees and they came to the base of the tower. It was even taller than it looked, a few 100 feet at least. Hey Nikki, we're only like half a page into this chapter, so you're totally fine. The twins' necks began to ache after looking up at the tower for a while. A large golden plaque was displayed on the ground in front of it. Queen Rapunzel's Tower. Wow, it must have been so hard for her, Alex said, seeing people and places so far away and never being able to visit them. Yeah, at least she never had to worry about burglars, though, Connor said. I've got to get up there, Alex said. Do you have, like, a jetpack or a grappling hook I'm unaware of? Connor asked her. No, I'll just have to climb it, Alex said, surprising herself with the declaration. You have officially lost your mind, Connor said. We've almost been killed twice, and it hasn't even been a full day yet. We need to stop fooling around and find a way home. What part of that don't you understand? Look, Alex said. I'm going to climb up there for just a few minutes, and then as soon as I climb back down, we'll read the journal and we'll find out what the wishing spell items are. Okay? Alex, Connor began. His face was turning pink. Please, Connor, Alex said. I need to do this or I will regret it for the rest of my life. Connor shook his head with the frustration that only a sibling could cause. He wanted to lecture her about how childish she was acting. But the way she was looking at him with her big and wanting eyes prevented him. It was so rare that Alex ever needed anything. He supposed one last stop couldn't really hurt. All right, well, don't get yourself killed, Connor said. But while you're up there, I'm going to start reading the journal and I'm going to make a list of the wishing spell items that we need to find.
Alex happily nodded and put her bag on the ground. She stretched out for the climb that she was about to make. Connor sat on the ground and began flipping through the pages of the journal. Climbing the tower was easier said than done. After searching around the base of the tower for a place to put her first step, Alex could tell why the long train of golden hair might be needed to get to the top of it. Eventually, she found a stone block with a chip large enough to put her foot in it, and she took the first step. Well, here I go, Alex said. Gosh, I really wish that I had a camera. Trust me, Connor said. The real Alex I know is going to want proof of this. Oh, isn't going to want proof of this. Oh, sorry. He's saying isn't going to want proof of how she looks climbing it. I bet she looks ridiculous. You think that's silly? Is that so silly? You say, That's silly, huh? It was like climbing the world's most difficult rock climbing wall. She relied on cracks and chips and uneven bricks sticking out just enough to put her hands and feet on. She moved slowly but carefully. If she were any larger, this wouldn't have worked. You're still at the bottom? Connor said, looking up from the journal a few minutes later. Shut up, Connor! Alex yelled back at him. I'm just saying, at the rate you're going, Mom's going to be 80 by the time we get home, whether there's a time difference or not. After some time had gone by and she had gotten the hang of it, Alex moved quickly, carefully pulling herself up by using the ivy. She climbed higher, the less she looked down at the ground, fearing that it would tamper her effort to reach the top. What do we know? Yeah, no, I mean, who knows, right? All right. She was so determined to see the top of the tower and to be in the room where Rapunzel had lived and see what Rapunzel had seen through her window every day. She wanted to be where somebody else had been during the longest and loneliest time of their life. Rapunzel's story had always been easy for Alex to identify with. Alex felt like she was in a tower of her own, looking at the world from an unreachable location. She was almost halfway up the tower by now, and she was above all the trees in the forest. Any tiny misstep would no longer result in potential injury. It would mean death. There's a reason the witch put Rapunzel up there, you know, Connor called to her, so no one could reach her. I'm not listening to you, Alex said, and then stupidly, she looked down. Beads of sweat appeared on Alex's forehead. She felt like her heart had fallen out of her body. What was she doing? There was no way that she could climb back down. Was she really risking her life just to see the inside of a tower? If she ever reached the top, would she be able to get back down? Would she have to wait until her hair grew long enough to climb before she ever saw anyone again? What would Connor do if she got stuck up there? Would he try to find the fairy tale world equivalent of the fire department with a ladder long enough to get her down? Or would he go home and find the wishing spell all on his own without her? The more Alex worried, the more she climbed. She knew it wouldn't be productive to worry and stay still, so she just kept going. It felt like hours had gone by. She looked up. She was only a few feet away from the window now. Just a few more feet, and she would be there. Finally, she felt the windowsill with her hands, and she slowly pulled herself up and then through it. She was almost through the window. Alex swung her leg over the window and into the tower. Oh, thank God, Alex said to herself. She might be stuck in the tower, but at least now she was safe. Alex looked around the tower. It wasn't really what she had expected at all. It was a large circular room with no furniture or any decorations at all. In fact, it was completely empty except for some hay and bird droppings that littered the floor. Hi, Alex, said a voice inside the tower. Alex jumped and screamed. She was completely shocked to see Connor sitting up inside the tower against the wall, just a few feet away from her. Took you long enough to get up here, he said with a laugh. He was eating an apple, and he had the journal open on his lap. How in the world did you get up here? Alex demanded. She was still out of breath from her climb. I took the stairs, Connor said with a mocking grin. I read the journal, and it says that after Rapunzel became queen, she installed a staircase in her tower so that she could come back and visit whenever she wanted. The door to the staircase was on the other side of the tower. We just didn't see it. Oh, Alex said sheepishly. Yeah, that makes sense. Apparently, since Rapunzel was the only known ward of the witch, when the witch died, Rapunzel inherited all that land from her. That's how she became the queen, Connor informed her. Yeah, Yeah. Did you drop your book? Here. That's your book. That's Poppy on the Go. Very good. But you would have known that if you had read the journal. It's full of fun facts and helpful hints on how to get inside of difficult places. Yeah, I suppose, Alex said, and she straightened her headband. She wasn't going to let this ruin the accomplishment she felt after climbing the tower. She turned to look out of Rapunzel's window. The tower was surrounded by a sea of trees. Far off into the distance, Alex could barely see the rooftops of the tiny village. Beyond the village, there was a large mountain range that rolled across the horizon. Now this is exactly what Alex had expected. It's quite a view, isn't it? Connor said. Yes, Alex said, almost in a whisper. It's breathtaking. I just wish we could see it all. Everything in the land of stories, but I did a lot of thinking on my way up here, and I know that we have to get home. That's what we need to focus on. About that, Connor said. You really need to read this, Alex. I've only skipped through it a little bit, and most of it's hard to read because it's handwritten, but the situation is more serious than we thought. He handed her the journal. Alex sat next to him and opened it to the very first page and began reading. Are you ready for this? This is important. Focus, baby girl. Are you ready? This is the moment. Dear friends, I don't know how or why you found this journal, but since it has found its way to your possession, I hope that it will be of use to you. What I'm about to tell you is going to sound ludicrous, but I ask you to allow me to explain. Had I not seen it with my own eyes, I never would have believed it. I am but a simple man from a simple village in the charming kingdom, but I have been to another world. It's a world with people and technologies that our world has only dreamed of, and places that we can only imagine. I know it seems absurd, but I promise you that an extraordinary place exists out there. We just can't see it. During my visit, among the many things I experienced, I fell in love. I fell in a love so deep that it was unlike anything I had ever known. I never thought this kind of love was real. It's as if I'm no longer living for myself, but for her. So I must find a way back. I must find a way to see her again. The first time I traveled to the other world, it was simple. A fairy that I knew its existence and allowed me to travel with her. She warned me to not get attached to anything or anyone, but while my brain was obedient to her request, my heart betrayed it. The fairy has hence banned me from traveling with her, so this time I must find my way back into the other world on my own. Naturally, I didn't know where to start. How does one go about traveling to another world? Who was I even to ask? How would I be able to ask without appearing like a lunatic? The Cinderellian society is very judgmental, and I surely would have been ridiculed if my mission were discovered. I came to the conclusion that I would have to ask someone who was crazy in their own right, so that no one would believe them if they spoke about it later. I needed someone who I could trust, but who would never be trusted by the world. I figured such a person didn't exist, and then I lost hope, until I remembered the traveling tradesman. He was infamous for finding naive children in the woods and trading regular items for items of value that he claimed could be magical. He was rumored to have given Jack the beans that grew his beanstalk. Surely, if anyone had heard of another world, it was going to be him. He was on the move at all times. Since warrants for his arrest have been issued in all of the kingdoms, he would be nearly impossible to find. But then again, my entire quest was virtually impossible. Late one night, I traveled to a tavern up the stream from my home, and there I befriended two farmers, and I proceeded to buy them round after round of drinks. After we had had a few laughs about childhood adventures and adolescent mistakes, I asked them if they had ever heard of the traveling tradesman. They both grew very quiet, and they were almost offended by my question. I assured them that it was purely out of curiosity and I wasn't accusing them of anything. I purchased another round of drinks, and after they were consumed, the farmers confessed that they had done business with him in earlier years. I traded 2 goats for a watering can that was supposed to magically water my crops all by itself, one of the farmers said. The damn thing never worked. It had a leak, and it was the biggest mistake of my life. Yeah, well, I traded 2 cows for a goose. He told me that it would lay golden eggs, the other claimed. The goose was a male. He gave me a gander. Here, you dropped it. Take this, 2 hands. 2 hands. 2 hands. Very good. They tried to convince me to call off my search for him, but after one final round of drinks, they told me the routes that he covertly took through the woods. Hey, very nice. That sounds very nice. I know. You have the most beautiful voice in the world. You do. You have a beautiful voice, honey. I love to hear it. Yeah. When it's your turn for book club, you can read, okay? Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you put the chewy too far in your mouth, that's what happens. Yeah. It's a circle of chewy, don't worry. She can't swallow it. It's way too big to be swallowed. But she likes to shove it fully into her mouth and then cough. You want this book? Okay. Bouncy, bouncy. I must have searched every patch of trees in the Charming Kingdom, and finally, in the woods, just south of Red Riding Hood Kingdom's border, I found him. Yeah, hopefully in a lower tone, exactly. Learning cause and effect, I know, right? The traveling tradesman was an odd and elderly, disheveled man. He wore several layers of raggedy clothing, and he had a long gray beard. There were dark circles under his eyes, and one of his eyes wandered to the left, so it was difficult to tell whom or what he was looking at. He traveled with a large cart that was pulled by a single mule. He was making a deal with a small boy holding a chicken when I first saw him. "Wear this bear claw and you'll grow up to be the strongest boy in the village," the tradesman told the boy, and then he placed a necklace with a large bear claw around the boy's neck and took the chicken from him. 100%, Amanda. The boy smiled and ran off. Wow, you need something else? Okay, what about this block? What about this block? You want this one? 2 hands. It takes 2 hands to hold the block. You have to have 2 hands. Yeah, very nice. The boy smiled and then ran off. The tradesman placed the chicken back in his cart. He must have made other trades that day because he had already collected 2 geese and a pig. "Are you friend or foe?" the tradesman asked. Friend, I believe," I said to him. "Oh, good," he said with a jolly clap. "All right, then what may I do for you, friend? Would you like a bag of magic pebbles to grow into boulders? It'll only cost you a duck. Or perhaps you'd like to trade a swine for a loaf of bread that'll make sure you're never hungry again." No, thank you," I said cautiously. I've come to ask for your advice." "Advice?" the tradesman said, an eyebrow above his wandering eye rose. "That, my friend, is something no one has ever asked me for before. What do you wish to know?" Well, I'm wondering," I started, but I wasn't sure how to put it into words. "Well, what's the farthest distance that you've ever traveled?" The tradesman scratched his beard and he thought about it. "Oh, well, honestly, I say there isn't a place in this world that I haven't been," he told me. "I've traveled from the southwest to the northeast and from the southeast to the northwest. I've been from the bottom of the Corner Kingdom to the top of the Sleeping Kingdom, from the tip-top of the Elf Empire to the coast of the Fairy Kingdom." "What about farther than that?" I interrupted him, fearing that he might continue to list every journey he's ever taken. "Farther than that?" Both of the tradesmen's eyebrows were raised now. "What's farther than that? Only ocean is beyond that." What about a different world? Have you ever heard of one, or maybe how to travel to one? I finally asked, and the tradesman got a funny look in his eye, or should I say in his eyes, or should I say his eye. "Young man, I've been all over the world and I've never seen any suggestion of there being another world," he said. This topic upset him somehow, and he hopped aboard his cart and he took the reins of his mule. "Wait, please don't go," I pleaded to him. "You youngsters always take pleasure in harassing an old man. Well, I won't allow it," he said, and he began to travel up the path. I was so desperate that I stood in front of his mule and I was nearly trampled. "I mean you no harm, old man," I assured him. "You don't understand. I've been to another world, another place in time. I've seen extraordinary things and I need to go back. It's maybe the greatest wish that I will ever have." My arms were spread out and I fell to my knees, feeling like an imbecile, confessing this preposterous need to a preposterous man. The tradesman sat still with his good eye fixed on me. "Is it truly the most desired wish in your heart?" he asked. "Yes," I pleaded. "I've never wanted anything more in my life." "Well, if it's a wish you desire, then there's only one thing you really need," he said. "What's that?" I asked. "The wishing spell," the tradesman said, and at first I thought he was joking. "The wishing spell?" I asked him. "You mean that childish legend?" "Oh, it's as real as the nose on my face. the tradesman said. Many men have spent their lives trying to obtain it. Legend has it that if you collect the objects in a series, place them in close proximity, the collector's one true wish will be granted. I didn't know whether or not to believe him. Perhaps he was harassing me now. My brain was critical, but my heart chose to learn more. All right, how do I find these items? I asked him. Oh, I don't have the slightest idea, he said. Now I was frustrated with him. All of that explanation for nothing. I turned my back on him and I began heading home. But I know someone who does, the tradesman called after me. Who? I demanded. I never trade for free, the tradesman said, and he extended an open palm toward me, so I placed a few gold coins in his hand. He kept his hand extended, and I placed a few more coins into it until he was satisfied. Her name is Hagatha, the tradesman said. All right, where can I find her? Take this path west into the dwarf forest, past the 3 boulders, and then follow the smoke, the tradesman said, and that was all the direction he gave. He took the reins of his mule and he traveled away from me. Had I been thinking clearly, I would have chased after him and asked for more instructions, but instead I took off running toward the dwarf forest. Yeah, do you want this llama? You can pretend it's the tradesman's mule. I'd never been inside the dwarf forest, and I'd been told of their dangers since I was a child. And once I knew why I had been warned. The trees grew so thick and close that someone could be standing 3 feet away from you and you would never know that they were there. It took 2 days to find the 3 boulders that the tradesman had spoken of. There were 3 large rocks that stuck straight out of the ground and were tilted in a particular position. I thought perhaps they might have been pointing at something, so I lowered my head to look in the direction that they pointed. The boulders pointed directly between 2 trees that separated just enough that you could see a wide patch of the sky. In this patch, I could see smoke. I ran toward the source of the smoke. Wherever it was coming from was completely off the path, and I was almost seriously injured by jumping over bushes and tree roots as I went. Occasionally, I could see the sky through the tree branches, and I could tell I was off track. I must have traveled in circles for hours. Every time I thought that I was just about to find the place with the smoke, the wind would shift it in another direction. I was lost. Every way I turned looked exactly the same. I felt as if the forest had swallowed me whole. The sun was setting. The smoke became harder to see. I started to panic. There was no shelter in sight. I thought for sure that a treacherous beast would find me in the night and feast on me. I started running again. I could barely see where I was going at this point. I could hear the howling in the distance. I tripped and fell straight through a large thorn bush. I landed hard in the grass on the other side of the thorn bush. I was scraped and scratched and bleeding. I got to my feet and I looked around, and I was in a large circular clearing in the forest, surrounded by a large wall of thorn bush. Hey, look. Look. There you go. In the center of this clearing was a small hut with a hay roof and a brick chimney. Rising out of this chimney was the smoke that I had been following. Oh, you dropped it. Hold on. Wait, where did it go? Oh my goodness. How far did it go? Oh dear. Well, I'm gonna have to get that for you later because well, you're gonna have to have something else for now. You want this one? How about this one? Look. Oh, pretty. That one came from Austria. That's nice, right? You dropped it, sweetheart. You want something else? How about this? It's a heart. Look. Ooh, heart. There you go. Yeah, that's nice, right? Why are we upset? She's singing. Ah, ah. Can you do it? Ah. Well, now you're not gonna. You're just gonna stare at me like I'm crazy. Sometimes she does do it. Well, that's not it. That's a screech. But sometimes she actually does like little. Oh. Come on, you can do it. Ah. There you go. There you go. That's the one. That's pretty funny, right? Okay, but not the screechies. No, the screechies are not the same. We can do the singing, not the screechies, okay? Look, look, look. Shh, shh, shh. No screechies, just singing, just happy singing, right? Ah. There you go. Very nice, very nice. We can use our butterfly voice, huh? Soft voice. Talk to a butterfly. Ah. You can do it. Ah. She does get too excited, that's why. And then she gets all screechy. Very nice. That was very nice, honey. You're doing great. You have a beautiful voice. Look, this one has a chewy on the end of the book. How exciting. That's right. Very good. No wonder it had been so hard to find. I must have been wandering in circles around it and not known that it was hidden behind the thorn bush. I approached the hut slowly. Yeah, in case anyone wasn't around last time I talked about this, there's a really... It doesn't work on a 6-month-old, obviously, but on a child Anara's age or the like, anyone who's 2 years old or above, pretty much. Okay, you can come out. Well, let's go in the playpen. You and Mommy will go in the playpen together. How about that? But anyone who's 2 years old or above, pretty much, you can use the butterfly thing with. You want to go in your playpen? Yeah. Okay. 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 We're gonna go in the playpen. Okay. We're gonna get this book, and we're gonna turn the camera around. Yeah. And Mommy's gonna sit right here with you. And Mommy's gonna read, and you can play with all your toys. So what you do, yeah, inside voice doesn't work for a lot of kids because they just, like, the concept isn't there for them. And so what you can do is you can find different animals for different, having you guys that far away is really hard. So hold on. Okay, the tripod has to come into the playpen. That's what we're gonna do. So yeah, basically what you do is find different animals that are the different voices. So for example, when they want to be loud, you can say, okay, we can use, you pick an animal, whatever, our bear voice. So we're gonna be a bear right now. We're allowed to use our big bear voice because we're outside. And then in certain situations, yeah, use it on adults, yeah. So then when you need them to be quiet, you can say, we're gonna talk like we're talking to a butterfly. And they're so tiny, we don't wanna hurt their ears, right? And if you teach them that from like the time they're 2, like it still works with Zoe, you know what I mean? So anyway, that was my story about that. She's too young for it to actually work, but I've been saying it so that when she is old enough, the concept, she's like, oh wait, the butterfly. Like she's heard it enough times that it means something, you know what I mean? Like I know it doesn't mean anything currently, I'm not stupid, but like, yeah, yeah, she'll get it eventually. Look, here's your blocks. Where'd that other block go? I have no idea. Okay, look, your water mat is up here. How exciting. How exciting. There you go. There you go. Okay. Yeah, she'll pick up on it for sure. No wonder it had been so hard to find. I must have been wandering in circles around it, not knowing it was hidden behind the thorn bush. I approached the hut slowly. It had 1 door and 2 windows, and that was all. I had to... She's craning so hard to see the camera. Sweetheart, sweetheart. Wait, where's your camera that Auntie Ray bought you? Hold on. Let Mommy get your camera. You wait for Mommy. Hold on. Here. Wait, where did it go? Daddy must have put it in the toy bin. Where is it? We were playing with it yesterday. Well, here's Mirror Baby. Gosh, what did he do with it, do we think? Oh, here it is. It already made its way into the toy bin. Look at this. Ray sent us this. I know, right? Letters, it's got all sorts of stuff. It's got like this rainbow thing over here. And over here it's got, like you guys are gonna love this, like a little fairy tale land with animals that can travel. Super cute. Okay, here's your camera. There you go. Now she has her own camera from Auntie Ray. She's totally playing with it. I went to knock on the door, but it burst open before I had the chance. "Who are you?" said the woman who emerged from the hut. I knew from the second that I saw her, this was Hagatha. She looked like a human tree stump. She was short and wore a brown hooded cloak. Deep wrinkles circled her face, and one of her eyes was squinted. Her nose was one of the smallest I had ever seen, and it was neighbored by a gigantic mole. "Are you Hagatha?" I asked her. "How did you find me?" she snapped. I tripped through the thorn bush," I said. "But how did you know I was here?" she asked. Her eyes squinted even more. "The traveling tradesman," I told her. "He said that you knew of the wishing spell." Hagatha grunted and sighed at the same time. Her lips wrinkled and looked up at me and then down. Reluctantly, she gestured for me to follow her in. Right? Yeah, no, she definitely is. I love this. You also seem more relaxed today. Well, I'm trying to mentally force myself to be different, kind of present. But I did use the loops from Jen. They really do help. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not wearing them right now because I need to hear myself, you know, with the voices, and I need to be clear. But during the day, I just popped them in and I was like, go ahead, scream. You know, I mean, I don't want her to scream, obviously, but as you guys know, she does have a little bit of a loud voice. Roll camp. I love that. Yeah, they are helping for sure. And when I'm not reading aloud, obviously I can wear them. We love you too, Anya. Come in, Hagatha said. The inside of the hut was an utter mess. There were vials of strange liquid everywhere. Some bubbled, some glistened, some steamed. You guys, this entire time, she's just been sitting there looking at the phone that Ray got her. That's all she's doing right now. Whatever. There were dozens of glass jars containing the strangest things, dead and alive reptiles, insects of every species, even the glass jar of various eyeballs. Even though they had been plucked out of their owner's lids, I swear one of them blinked at me. Yes, she's looking at all of her friends. Do you want to talk to them? Can I show them really quickly? It has filters, you guys, so that she can be different things. She can be a cat. She can wear glasses. She can have ears. Filters. It's pretty funny. I was surprised to see how many animals were inside the hut as well. Everything from geese and chickens to hummingbirds and monkeys all resided inside cages. They were all restless. Prisoners, no doubt. Have a seat, Hagatha instructed, and she pointed to a chair at the end of a table that was so large it almost took up the entire hut. Yeah, she has Screen Baby now. That's right. Yes, she has Mirror Baby and Screen Baby. I see you're a collector of sorts, I said. She didn't welcome the conversation. She ignored me and collected a few items from around the room. A bowl here, a vial there. That thorn bush surrounding your home is really clever, I said. It must keep out most unwanted visitors. Most, she said, glaring at me. That thorn bush is from the Sleeping Kingdom. I planted it here and I grew it around my home in a perfect circle, just as it grew around the castle while the queen was in her 100-year slumber. You're the first to break through it. I do apologize. This will cost you 15 gold coins, Hagatha said, and she took a seat across from me. For what? I asked. You want to know what the wishing spell items are, don't you? She asked. That's why you're here, is it not? I reached into my pocket and I laid all the coins I had left out on the table. Unfortunately, doing business with the tradesmen had left me a little short. I only have 14 coins, I told her. Hagatha did not look pleased. You stupid youth and your wishes. Very well, she said, and she scooped up the coins with one hand. She placed a bowl in front of her and emptied the contents of 2 vials into it, one red liquid and one blue. 1 eye of eagle, the wings of a pixie, and the heart of a newt, Hagatha said, and added these items into the bowl, plus 3 drops of giant's blood, the big toe of an ogre, and a straw of gold hay. That completes the potion. With all the ingredients added, the liquid in the bowl started to smoke and glow. Hagatha leaned over it and she breathed it in. She closed her eyes and lost herself in a moment of deep thought. Does this potion tell you what the wishing spell items are? I asked her. No, but it helps me remember, Hagatha said. You aren't the first and you won't be the last to request the list. Consider yourself warned. Many people have lost their lives trying to acquire these items. They are impossible to collect. Well, I'd rather die trying than live the rest of my life wondering if I could have done it, I said. Then listen carefully to what I'm about to say, because I will only say it once, Agatha said, and I leaned close to her as possible. The anticipation made every second feel like an hour. This is what I had come all this way for. There are 8, Agatha said, and she took a deep breath and then listed the items. Glass that housed a lonely soul till midnight's final toll. A saber from the deepest sea meant for a groom's mortality. The bark of a basket held in fright while running from a bark with bite. A stony crown that's made to share found deep within a savage lair. A needle that pierced the lovely skin of a princess with beauty found within. A wavy lock of golden rope that once was freedom's only hope. Glittering jewels whose value increased after preserving false decease. Teardrops of a maiden fairy feeling neither magical nor merry. I repeated the list to myself the entire way home, and I wrote the wishing spell list and my journey thus far into this journal. I don't know how I'm going to gather these items, but my goal is to find them and then record how I managed it in case I ever need to do it again. If you're reading this, I hope it means I succeeded, and if you're reading this, I hope you're about to start a journey of your own, and I wish you luck. Wow, Alex said, looking up from the journal. Yeah, you can say that again, Connor said, and you read that much faster than I did. Did you read any further? Alex asked. Did he find the items? Did he make it back? I don't know. There's a lot of pages missing, Connor said. Alex scanned through the list of wishing spell items. She hadn't expected them to be hidden within riddles. Most of these are pretty easy to figure out, she said. Like a needle that pierced the lovely skin of a princess with beauty found within. That's obvious, the spindle from Sleeping Beauty's spinning wheel. And a wavy lock of golden rope that once was freedom's only hope, Connor said. That's totally a lock of Rapunzel's hair. Connor looked around the space where he was sitting. From between the 2 floorboards, he pulled out a long lock of golden hair. Huh, look, I found one, he said. One of the first things I noticed when I got up here was how much hair that Rapunzel girl shed. Now we're 1/8 of the way home. Alex carefully wrapped the lock of golden hair in a tissue from her school bag. What do you suppose the glass that housed a lonely soul up until midnight's final toll means? Whose soul was covered in glass? Oh, I know, Connor said. That's Cinderella's glass slipper. It covered the sole of her foot. Oh, of course, Alex said. The list was spoken. Maybe Agatha meant S-O-L-E, like on a foot, but the man heard it as S-O-U-L, like a person's spirit. Connor, you're a genius. There's an alternate spelling? Connor asked, but Alex just went on. I wonder what the bark of a basket held in fright while running from a bark with bite means, said Alex. I think basket, bite. Oh, Little Red Riding Hood. Her basket must have been made out of tree bark, and the bark with bite it's talking about is the big bad wolf. Okay, Connor said. That would make sense. Alex stood up and started pacing around the tower. Glittering jewels whose value increased after preserving a false deceased. That's a tough one. Who was falsely deceased? Didn't people think that Snow White was dead after she bit that poison apple? Connor asked. Oh, yeah, that's right, Alex said, jumping up and down. She had a coffin made out of glass and jewels from the dwarf mine. That must be what it means. I'm so glad that Dad and Grandma read to us so much when we were growing up, Connor said. Who would have thought that it would be this useful? Oh, honey, are you sick of it? Oh, you lost it. How did it get all the way over there? How'd your phone get so far away? Look, it's right here. Yeah, here it is. Look, it's right here. There you go. Yeah, that's Scream Baby. Look. Wait, why are we sad? Why are we sad? Here. Why are we sad? Why are we sad, baby? Oh, you see Screen Mommy again. There you go. You want to play with your water mat? It's nice. Yeah. Here. Look, all of these can go on top of the water mat. Wow. Can you get to them? Very good. Very good. Teardrops of a maiden fairy feeling neither magical or merry. Well, I guess we'll just have to find a fairy who's recently broke up with her boyfriend or something like that, Alex surmised. You don't think that we could just kick her and make her cry? Connor asked. That really seems easier to me. Alex ignored him and vigorously flipped through the journal again. Glass slipper? Check. Spindle? Check. Coffin? Check. Alex said. According to the notes scribbled in the margins, the author seems to agree with our guesses. I just don't know what some of these things are, like a saber from the deepest sea meant for a groom's mortality, or a stony crown that's meant to share deep within a savage lair. Like I said, there's a lot of pages that are missing, Connor said. Alex was disheartened by this. The items they knew of seemed virtually impossible to collect, let alone the items they didn't know of. She walked over to the window and looked out at the view. The sun was just about to set, and one by one, fireplaces in the village nearby were lit and sent trails of smoke into the darkening sky. Wow. Did you just get up on your knees on your own? Holy moly. What are you... Okay. Wow, that's really cool. I'm glad that you can do that. That's a very good skill. Nice skill, baby. Okay, I'm just gonna stay here and let her do her thing. She's like on her little steps with her knees on one side of it. Okay, and her arms. Okay. Why don't you sit? Why don't you sit? There you go. Mommy only has one more page. Just let Mommy finish this page. Let's see. And it sent trails of smoke into the darkening sky. What if we get some of these riddles wrong? She asked. What if we get the whole thing wrong? What if the author guessed it wrong? What if we never get there? What if he never made it back? What if he died trying? Hey, look. We're just gonna have to do our best, Connor said, joining Alex at the window. Some annoying little girl told me once that optimism always paid off, and she's usually right about things. Alex smirked warmly at her brother. Okay then, she said. So far we have a lock of Rapunzel's hair, and we still need to collect Cinderella's glass slipper, Sleeping Beauty's spindle, jewels from Snow White's coffin, bark from Little Red Riding Hood's basket, tears from a fairy, and 2 other items that we have no idea about. Connor gulped hearing the list. They both looked out over the horizon and the sea of trees that surrounded the tower. Somewhere out there, these items were just waiting to be found. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna see a lot more of the land of stories than we thought, Connor said. Dun dun dun! Connor with a level-headed mindset. Yes, it's true. So how are you guys liking it so far? What do you guys think now that we're like in it? Those of you who haven't read it. Yeah. Here, he's right here. I'm gonna try to grab my coffee if she'll let me. Let's see if it's possible. We can talk about it while I have coffee. Whee! This was a mildly successful book club, right? I mean, like, we had a few interruptions, but nothing, detrimental, right? Okay, Mommy's getting coffee. Ooh, coffee for Mommy. Okay. Yeah, I think I know I love it. I thought they'd go back and forth frequently, and now I know I'm wrong. They're stuck for a while. Yeah, they're definitely stuck for a while. The twins do complement each other. It's true. They are, not 100% opposites, but definitely, she seems chiller even though she's still sick. Yeah, she's definitely chiller. Yes, being calmer is good. It is good. Yeah, we're getting back to a normal thing. So even though she's not feeling well, I'm still gonna go to the farmer's market because it's not like she's gonna be like in people's faces or whatever, I know, honey. Here, look, we're almost done. Here, do you want to turn it on? How about if I turn this on for you? Wow, very exciting. And fresh air is good and it's warm. It's not like it's cold outside here. It's like friggin' 75 or 80 degrees today. Who knows? So anyway, I hope you guys are loving the book. I love it. And there's so many more surprises to come that are right, Liz. Look here, look, who's that? Are you a kitty? Oh my goodness, you're a kitty. Wow, such kitty. So anyway, I hate it too, Naisa. I hate it too. The apartment hold gives you any updates. So they got most of it done yesterday, and now we just have to clean and put everything back today. So hopefully I'll have access to the whole thing by next week. That is the goal. Oh, it's okay. It can turn off, right? But she likes it. That's right. It makes being up on days off. Yeah. It can turn off. Don't worry. Yeah, most of it is done. I'm gonna clean everything over there today because, like, you know how awful it gets when they do construction. There's just like minor things left that they have to pick. Oh, thank you, Nikki. And I need to just like buy more glue and get to work on a restock. You know, basically that's what's gonna happen. This is her glasses. Yeah, so that is good. And we'll read more Land of Stories next week, of course, and we're having a grand old time. Do you need clay yet? I'm gonna. Let me catalog how much I have because we have to. So we had to empty out the container. We have a thing where we have a shelf where we keep the clay, and we had to get everything off of it to move because it lives where the construction was. So when I put it back, I'll count it and I'll let you know what I have of each color. Although I used like 10 red clays for the red Taylor Swift sign, so most of the red clay is gone. But anyway, we're gonna go to the farmer's market and I will let you all know how it goes. I hope you have a great day. See you later. Bye guys.